Now we invite to the podium Republican candidate for sheriff. Here is Joe Carpenter.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Joe Carpenter. Just a little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Washington County, East Texas community to WB and Hattie Geneva Carpenter. I have two brothers, Johnny and Danny. Also, my wife of 36 years, Sandy's sitting back here. I've got three children, Brian Allen Carpenter, his wife Krista, and getting ready to have another grandbaby, Elsie, so all right. Stephanie Lynn and her husband John, and my granddaughter Hattie Ann, and also Matthew Allen, who is a junior at E-Town Community College. Just a little bit about me is for 33 years I worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and I retired there approximately 3 years ago. Right now, during that time, my wife was involved in a wreck several years ago, and Springfield, Washington County Rescue, Springfield, Washington County Fire Department, and Washington County EMS took care of her. So after she got over that, I decided, it's time for me to do something back for my community. So I joined the Springfield, Washington County Rescue Squad a little over 25 years ago. Also during that time, I became an EMT. I've worked in EMT for Washington County and Emergency Service for the past 20 years. During that time also, I've been your Deputy Washington County Emergency Management Director for 20 years. Also during that, I worked for 5 years as Hazmat 5 Chief, which covered 12 counties. So I've had my experience in emergency response parts of this county. I know this county well. What is our biggest resource that we have in our Washington County? Everybody knows it. It's our children, our offspring. Guys, we're going to have to do something. The drug problem, as you've heard several people get up and talk before, is enormous, and it's growing. Folks, we can try to curtail the drug problem, and we're doing a good job at that, and we will continue to. But there's another step we need to do. We need to educate our kids. We need to get education back in the schools, in the DARE program, to educate these kids as to what these drugs are going to do for them. One time of taking heroin, coke, crack, any of these other illicit drugs that are out there can ruin their life. So we need to educate our kids about what's going on. We need to educate the parents. We need to educate the grandparents. Folks, it takes us all. We can do all we can do to arrest them, put them in jail, and we've talked about the budget for the county and how it's over $500,000 to keep these people incarcerated. Guys, we've got to stop it before it gets there. Okay, so I'm going to need your help November the 6th. Help me, help you. Let's keep number one priority for Washington County, our children. Thank you very much. Vote Joe November the 6th. Thank you.
Again, that was Joe Carpenter. Joe is the Republican candidate for sheriff. Now let's welcome to the podium the Republican candidate for Washington County Judge Executive. Here's Tony Royalty.
As Hal said, my name is Tony Royalty. I'd like to take this chance or opportunity right now to thank the county judge Settles and all of our magistrates who are retiring. Hal being one of them, Greg Sims, Billy Riney, Johnny Cole. They've done a wonderful job, and I hope that if elected, I'll be in a position to lead a new court. And the reasons that I feel like I can lead a new court is I have a very good working relationship with the mayor of Springfield. I know and have good relationships with potential mayors in Mikeville and Willisburg. As a candidate, my experiences have been that I'm a graduate of the University of Kentucky, probably more years than most of you have been alive ago, 1975. Under the Fletcher administration, I was head of charitable gaming, which was a $600 million plus organization with several employees. and I was able to save the state and return to the Senate and the representatives over $2 million in the first year, just by doing things that you and I have to do in our business every day, or our personal household. If the money's not there, we can't create it. I was a loan officer for Farm Credit for approximately 10 years in this area, and I got to work with many of the much of the farm community in Washington County. And I also worked for Southern States, actually, even right down here in Springfield, Southern States, for approximately a year. So I know the people, I know their needs. I'm good at listening. And as a businessman, I came back. I left this county to build some businesses. I created several hundred jobs that are still going. Most of those businesses I've created and sold. But I've been able to bring some of those gains back to this county in land development. And like many of you, we want our kids to be able to live here, work here, raise their families here. And a lot of us couldn't do that 40 years ago, almost 50 now. The jobs weren't here. I think our local, a lot of you guys that are going out, they've done a great job of bringing some business into this county. And I think with what they've done, with the leadership that I hope that I can offer, we can even do a better job of continuing to grow. I'm willing to work with whoever the magistrates are for the betterment of Washington County. And I'm not running for re-election day one if I get elected. I'll be 65 years old, and I don't feel like I can probably put in 20 years as your county judge. But I'll do the best that I think is good for the county without the worry of, can I get re-elected? I appreciate your support on November the 6th. Thank you.
Tony Royalty, the Republican candidate for Washington County Judge Executive. Now we'll invite up Brooke Coulter. Brooke is a candidate for the Springfield City Council. Brooke?
My name is Brooke Coulter, and I am running for re-election for the City Council. I have served for 4 terms, and I can honestly say I have enjoyed all of it. Not all of the time is fun, and I've learned that you have to have thick skin to be in the sort of politics I guess I'm in. I feel like that we have all worked really well together as a council. We all get along with our mayor. We all kind of share the same vision, and sometimes when we don't, we can easily persuade one another in our advantage to help the city. I really ran at the beginning 8 years ago because I want people my age to come back. I'm the youngest person on the council right now, and I guess still will be if I get re-elected. I want a town to people my age and younger to come back and have a career. I want us to have jobs. Nelson County and Marion County are flourishing, and I don't see that why we can't. I think that if we would all gain a little pride in our town and know that we can do exactly what they're doing, maybe not on the same level. I still like the small town feel of everything that we have. We've improved our park greatly. We have so many kids out there who play and give them a place to go, and older people a place to walk and exercise and get together. We have a lot of things in the future coming, and it's a long time coming. I feel like we've spun our wheels for so long now, and I think that things are finally coming together. We finally are getting a little bit of the Bourbon Trail to come our way that we've all been wanting and hoping for so long. And I think that took a lot from our economic developer, Daniel Carney, along with our magistrates and our city council to all pull together to grab that. I think there are lots more things that could come. I agree with everyone else that we do have a drug problem, but luckily we have a police force who can work greatly with our sheriff's department, and we are trying to get that under control like every other small town. And the most important thing I think about this year as an election year is our fiscal court is getting ready to change greatly. I think that the magistrates in the past and judge have done a great job, but I think this is the year that we can really move forward, start working together a little bit more, start sharing a vision for our community, and make it grow. So, I would appreciate your vote, and if you can't vote for me, if you have any family who can, I would appreciate that also.
Brooke Coulter, candidate for Springfield City Council. Final participant today will be Republican candidate for Magisterial District Number 2. Here is Steve Devine.
Good evening, everyone. Like I said, I'm Steve Devine. I live in the Willisburg community. I'm running for magistrate in the 2nd District. My immediate family, I have 3 children, 7 grandkids, and all of them are here in Washington County. Majority of them work here in Washington County, so we're pretty much involved in Washington County throughout. I'm a graduate of 1973. If any classmates are out there today, join us at Mordecai's at 6:30, right, David? Join us over there. We're having a class reunion. I've been involved in, the reason why I'm running, I've been involved in this, in the county ever since I was old enough to do so. My father built a corner market out in Willisburg. He had a heart attack a little bit after he built that. I took it over and run that business on ownership. So I've been involved with that as a business owner. I've started and helped with a lot of good people involved. You can't do anything by yourself, so you got to be involved with people or surrounded with good people. And I did that when we started with the Willisburg Fire Department Rescue Squad. I was chief there for 20 years. We got that going, and very proud of that one. I've been an EMT at the same time for that many years. Was the emergency coordinator here for the county underneath 2 judges, one Bourbon Elliott and Judge Brady. After that, I've been on several and still are on county and local and state boards that I've served on. So I've enjoyed that. My leadership side of it, well, first of all, I'd say that I'm invested in the community as well. All 3 of my children, like I said, lived here. I've been involved in the children's sports, been involved in school events, including fundraisers, community organizations, and still would love to be involved in all the communities, Springfield, Willisburg, and Mackerel, and even others. So I've done that. One of the things that I have been involved in as well is the Willisburg City Park out there. My wife, which is deceased, she helped start that park, and I helped design it for her, as well as her involvement. So really good involvement there. Many years ago, whenever we started getting county water as well, I was involved in sign-ups in that deal. So, like I said, I've been going back to my experience, leadership experience as a business owner for 10 years. I worked for the agriculture industry for 30 years as sales and running a business here on Perriman Road called Terra, and one of them was Helena Chemical, was a multi-billion-dollar business. I understand the budget. I understand working with people. I understand employees and what you have. So I think that experience alone would help me in the court. We are going to have a new judge, and I think that new judge is going to need strong leadership support as well, and I'd like to be the one to do that. I have some plans that I'd like to bring forward if I get elected. So if no use of bringing him up really if I don't get elected, I guess, but I do have some plans for the jail budget and other things as well. I do like Washington County, and I think we have some opportunities that we need to grow, not in business as much as we do in housing and making people come in and like in Washington County. So I appreciate you voting November 6th. If you can't vote, I mean, you should vote. It's a privilege. Somebody has shed some blood over your freedom here to vote. So please get out and vote. Thank you.
That was, again, Steve Devine, Republican candidate for Magistrate District Number 2. That's going to finish up our political rally. And again, November 6th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the polls in Washington County will be open. So your responsibility, as you heard from the candidates today, is talk to these candidates, about what's important to you in Washington County and Springfield, and make sure to make your plans to vote on November 6th. Let's give a big round of applause for all 15 that came out today. Very glad they could come out, and we appreciate them being here.